All right, it's Coach Matt again, and today is day 11. Yesterday, I hope you checked out that video. If you didn't, you better go back because I'm talking about something today that references yesterday. Today is HIIT Get You Fit. So yesterday, you learned how that LIST cardio or low intensity steady state can play a beneficial role in an overall fitness program. And if you remember during that whole video, Holly was grinding slowly on the elliptical, but today I'm not gonna have her do that because she wouldn't quite make it. HIIT training is a different ball game and it is a critical part of an overall fitness program. So what is HIIT and why is it a much more efficient and metabolically impactful way to get in shape? Well, HIIT, or HIIT, stands for high intensity interval training. So by high intensity, we mean heart rate. Remember yesterday we calculated the low intensity steady state to be 65% of around your maximum heart rate. Today, we're gonna do high intensity. So what is the difference? Let me talk about two ways to define high intensity. The first, and in physiology labs, they use the Borg scale of perceived exertion, which is kind of on a 3 to 20 scale, meaning 20, I'm about to die, can't breathe, get me off of this thing. Or 3 is I'm sitting on the couch and I could do this forever. So that's kind of the Borg scale of perceived exertion, and it does rely, in my opinion, too much on someone's perception. So a better way to do it is with heart rate. And to qualify as high intensity, it needs to be at or above 85% of your maximum heart rate. The good news is you're not going to have to stay there very long, and that's why they call it interval training. So yesterday we calculated the LIST, or the low intensity. Today, I'll do the math for you today because I didn't quite have that figured out yesterday for how to calculate your heart rate range. So if you're on that piece of equipment at the commercial gym, remember they do have heart rate monitoring. You're going to know what your heart rate is. If you remember from yesterday, Holly is 35. So do the math. 220 minus 35, 220 minus age equals 185. Okay, and then we're going to multiply 185 times 0.85, so that's 85%. And we're also going to multiply 185 times 0.95, which is 95%. So if you follow me so far, 185, 0.85, I got the 185, 220 minus age. So you put your age in there to get this number, and then multiply that number times 0.85 and 0.95 to get, in this case, 157 as her low threshold, or 85%, and 175 as her high threshold, or 95%. So what we're trying to accomplish in high intensity interval training is to get Holly's heart rate between 157 and 175. So let me explain how an interval works. The good news with interval training is you're not doing it constantly, and you're working hard, high intensity for a set period of time, and then it's followed by a recovery period. That recovery period can be an active recovery period where you're just slowing down, but you're still moving, or it can be a passive recovery activity where you just stop moving. So today, I'm going to demonstrate both with Holly as she volunteers to do this. So I'm going to be motivating and coaching her, and today I'm going to be using our heart rate monitoring system so I can monitor her real time as well as she can as well too. So the periods of work in an interval are typically from 20 seconds, 15 to 20 as a minimum, like a Tabata, which is a pretty popular protocol, is 20 seconds work, 10 seconds rest. You do that 8 times for one Tabata interval. More typically, what we like to do here at TrYumph is 30-30s, 30 seconds of intense work, followed by 30 seconds of rest. So another one could be 45 seconds of work with only 15 seconds of recovery. So your overall intensity is probably going to be a little lower than it would be in a 30-30. Then there's up to 2 minutes, followed by perhaps a 1 minute recovery period. So that might be a good thing to do on a Concept 2 rower or water rower or whatever you have access to. So the rule of thumb is the higher the intensity, the longer the recovery period. So that is a work to rest ratio. And so for 30-30, that's a 1-to-1 ratio, if you're following me there. If you do 20-10, that's a 1-to-0.5. But if you're doing like a full out sprint interval where you're running at full speed, maximum effort until you completely exhaust yourself in 10 to 20 seconds, you're probably going to need to recover for 2 to 4 minutes after 100% intensity. So we're going to do a few intervals here, and it's realistic. Like if you're doing 10, 30, 30s, that's only 5 minutes of cumulative work. So 10 intervals, 30 seconds work, 30 seconds rest. That's 10 minutes of elapsed time, but only half of that is actual work. So if you're following along with me, 30 seconds of high intensity at the heart rates we just calculated is what we're trying to accomplish. But here is the bonus kicker. And this is what the massive takeaway from today I want you to understand. That just 5 minutes of this type of work, or 10 if you're counting the cumulative time elapsed, has the same cardiovascular benefit of 50 minutes of the list cardio that we just talked about yesterday. So how's that for maximum bang for your cardiovascular buck? So much more efficient, and what people like about HIIT cardio, it's not monotonous, and again, it's very time efficient. So your workout program includes some of my favorite HIIT workouts, and you'll want to incorporate HIIT cardio to about 2 workouts per week. And that's going to get you in shape quicker. It's going to improve your lactate threshold. It's also going to help you recover faster from your resistance training. And it's also going to help boost your metabolism, help release growth hormone, help you feel better, sleep better, live longer, and look better. So all kinds of benefits. And so I want to give you a quick demonstration as Holly's going to start moving. I'm going to time her for 30 seconds and push her, and we're going to see how fast she can get her heart rate going, all right? So right now she is right at 50% of her maximum heart rate, or 94 beats per minute, and we're going to go for it, all right? So Holly's going to get started. So this is a Octane Max Trainer, and when I say go, I'm going to give her 10 seconds countdown, or 5 seconds, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. 30 seconds, hard as you can. So she's cranking, she's pushing for 30 seconds. Hard as she can, her heart rate's already up to 65% of maximum. So it's climbing rapidly. She's got about 15 more seconds. She's working hard, push, pull, using her legs, using her arms, using lots of muscles. She got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So that is what you need to understand as a HIIT interval. She could not keep going, and she hit exactly 84% of her maximum heart rate on one interval. Usually, I'm going to tell you on 30-30, it's going to take 2 to 3 intervals to get your heart rate that high. But Holly knows what she's doing. She worked really hard, and as you can see, she wouldn't have been able to go much longer than that 30 seconds because she was putting out maximum effort. So we're depleting glycogen in your ATP stores, and now during the recovery period, she's recovering, and we are just past 30 seconds. So I'm gonna have her do one more for your benefit, showing off how it's done, and we'll see on the second one where her heart rate goes, and then I'll explain what just happened, all right? So here we go, 3, 2, 1, 30 seconds. Here we go, Holly. And this is where if you have an accountability partner, you can go, then they can go while you're resting. And that's called I go, you go, and a great partner workout. They can motivate you while you're recovering and vice versa, or while you're working, I should say. And this is just a great way to make the time fly. Come on, 5 more seconds. Push hard as you can. She's pushing. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. So I don't know if you can hear. I'm going to get closer. You can hear her breathing heavy. And on that interval, she got her heart rate up to 88% of maximum. So as you can see, the max trainer that we have here at TrYumph, very effective for getting that heart rate response very quickly. Some devices or machines might take you a little longer, or if you're not used to generating that kind of power, it's going to definitely take a little getting used to. So the value that you don't see is, again, I'm going to talk about our MyZone system or some kind of cardiovascular real-time strap-based monitoring system. We use the MyZone, and I would strongly recommend you get a chest strap heart rate monitoring system so you can see your heart rate in real time. The problem with the wrist tracker is by the time you actually see your heart rate, it's already adjusted. It's not real time. And then the other thing is wrist trackers have been shown in science to not be as reliable as a chest strap monitoring device. So in fact, the MyZone system we use here at TrYumph is 99.4% accurate of an EKG that you would get at a hospital in measuring heart rate. So definitely a worthwhile investment so you can be sure you're hitting your numbers. And that is, again, where accountability comes into play. And so if you have one of those and maybe a workout partner, you can use each other and your heart rate as your accountability device. So you know your numbers, you know what you got to hit, and there's no faking it. So if you're going by, oh, wow, that was kind of intense, usually what happens is people are at about 70 to 75%. With the actual heart rate monitoring system, I can say, no, you're not. You're only at 75. You got to work a little harder to get those benefits that I just described. So that is the value of HIIT training. And again, efficient workout. If you can only work out 2 to 3 times a week and you only have about 45 minutes, we're going to do warm up, do your resistance training, and then get in 5 to 10 of those intervals. So that can be a 40-minute workout that's highly efficient to get all the benefits of resistance training, all the benefits of high-intensity interval training, and consolidating that into 40 short minutes 2 to 3 times a week. So very efficient, and hopefully you're learning as we go through this week some of the exercise science and incorporating that with the workout programs we provided, and you'll be set for life, especially if you get that monitoring system. So that's the key takeaway today is heart rate monitoring real time, and we may be making the MyZone system available to you. So I don't know what status we're going to be in when you're watching this, but possibly if it is, you'll have a link to get one through us. If not, definitely get some type of chest strap-based heart rate monitoring system. So that is all about high-intensity interval training, and then tomorrow we'll talk more about the one type of exercise that has more bang for your buck than even HIIT training. And so I'm excited to dig deeper into what that is tomorrow. And thank you, Holly, for working really hard for your benefit so you could actually see what that looks like, and you can kind of visualize it so you can go do it yourself. So we'll talk tomorrow. Make today an amazing day, and we will see you then.